Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have actually been really enjoying watching all of these assumption videos floating around on YouTube. They're really funny, some of them are so interesting, so I thought that I would film one. I was quite curious to know what your assumptions would be about me, so I did like a Q&A on Instagram and I got some really interesting responses actually. Some of them were quite surprising, some of them were completely accurate, and it made me realise just how well you guys know me, and I'm really not as mysterious as I think. So a lot of them were really accurate. So yeah, some of them were quite interesting. I've got a bunch of them on my phone, and I'm just going to go through some of the top ones or some of the most common ones and share whether or not they're true. Okay, so the first one is that you enjoy tea and biscuits based on your adorable accent. Now this one was a very common response. I think at least like 25 people said something to this effect, and it is absolutely true. I love my tea and I love my biscuits, and I am proud to say that. Yeah, not herbal tea, just like classic English breakfast tea with a good splash of milk and a good biscuit. That is just me all over. My favourite biscuits are probably like chocolate digestives, custard creams, the best, but you can't get them in Canada. So whenever I have people visiting from England, or whenever we go back to England, we'll always bring loads back with us. What else do I like? I love bourbons. You can get them in Canada, but they're actually so expensive, and Matt wolfs them down in one bite. So I refuse to pay like $7 for a pack of chocolate bourbons because they're just gonna go in like 2 minutes. But yeah, that was a very accurate assumption. I do love my tea and I do love my biscuits. Okay, so the next one, oh, where did it go? Oops, I think I've just deleted my notes. How do I get that back? Oh no. Okay, here we go. We are back in action. Okay, so the next one was that you are really nice to get to know, but you keep your distance because you don't trust people. I'd say this one is broadly accurate, yes. I try to be as kind and nice to everyone as possible. I'm never ever nasty, like I don't think there's any need to be mean to people, but it does take me a while to trust people. I don't think I have trouble trusting people. I just like to take my time to get to know someone before I kind of fully jump in. And one thing that I do is I just trust my gut. My gut never ever lies to me, and if I'm meeting someone or I'm becoming friends with someone and my gut is kind of telling me that something's off, or that, I don't know, maybe that the other person has ulterior motives, or if we're just not vibing, if I get that kind of feeling in my gut, then 99% of the time it turns out to be true. I just want really good, solid people in my life. I just want to be surrounded by really good people, and I'm fortunate to have a network like that. But I think I do kind of hold my cards quite close to my chest. I've had a few experiences in the last few years as I've been meeting more people, as I've been networking here in Vancouver, where I've become friends with people and then it's kind of become apparent that they had different motives, and I didn't like that. So I've just kind of learned to be a little bit more reserved, and if ever I kind of sense, or if ever I get like a gut feeling that something's a bit off, then I'll listen to that, and most of the time it turns out to be true. So yeah, if I find that I'm getting that kind of vibe, I will just kind of take a step back and just kind of be a little bit more reserved until I can kind of suss out that person or the situation or whatever. That's kind of a long answer, but yeah, broadly speaking, I'd say I do kind of keep my distance a little bit, and it takes me a little bit of time to trust people. Okay, next one is, it's a nice one. That you were all heart and super kind to everyone with amazing style. Thank you, that's really nice. Yeah, I'd say that's, well, quite true. I think kindness costs nothing. It doesn't matter who it is, you know, where you are, where that person's working, what they're doing. I think a smile goes such a long way. Kindness goes such a long way. And even just talking to people and giving them a smile, it just makes the whole world of difference. And I've made so many friends from just talking to them and saying hi. One of my friends, Jessica, I met in an elevator on the way to an event. I didn't know who she was, but we were both in the elevator at the same time, and I was just like, hi, like I really like your outfit, and then she's one of the loveliest people I know. Okay, next one is that you're not close with your family because you moved so far away. Now this one is not accurate. at all. I'm very, very close with my family. I'm really close with Matt's family, and he's close with his family. We have such an amazing network of family and friends, and I feel so fortunate to have that. So yeah, we are very, very close, which is why it is hard sometimes, the fact that we are so far away. But equally, you know, we are super close with them, but we also want to do what we want to do, and we love traveling and we love living in Vancouver, and at this moment in time we're so happy here and we love the lifestyle, and fortunately we can just go and visit our family back home and they can just go and visit us. And yeah, I mean, it's easier nowadays. You've got like Skype, you've got WhatsApp, you've got a constant form of communication, and they are only like an 8-hour flight away if we need them or if we need to go home or whatever. So yeah, we are very, very close with them. It is hard being away, but equally we're just kind of living our life, and they are completely supportive and they understand that and they respect that and they're part of that, and they're so interested and involved with what they're doing, which is really, really nice. So yeah, that one was not true. Okay, oh my god, I deleted it again. What is wrong with me? How do I find this notes? No, where has it gone? Okay, we are back. Oh, I need to stop doing this. Okay, the next one is not an assumption, but when are you and Matt gonna get married, or are you not going to? Now that, my friends, is a question you need to ask Matthew. No, we are gonna get married at some point. We've been together nearly 8 years now, 8 years in a few weeks time, and we are gonna get married. We're just not in any rush, and I'm not in any rush to get married at all. It's something that we talk about probably every single day, but I feel like it's kind of at that point in our relationship where it's like we've been together so long, we're so committed, we know that we're going to get married, we know that we're going to go on to have kids, hopefully. It's not a taboo topic, it's not something that I'm just kind of like sitting on my hands and waiting for. Like, I know that it's going to happen when the time's right, and I'm so excited to be husband and wife. But equally, the thought of planning a wedding actually really just scares me, because I know there's just so much organisation involved, and I don't know where we want to get married, and it's just like a whole other kind of worm. So yeah, we do want to get married. The last couple of years things have been quite uncertain with our visa and like where we'd be, and it's not something that I ever really wanted to think about, because I was kind of like, if we don't even know where we're going to be living, how can we think about getting married? Now the visa situation is all done and dusted, which is amazing. Now we are starting to think about it a bit more seriously, but I'm not in any rush. We definitely are going to get married and we want all that. It's just kind of a matter of just getting the timing right and just doing it when the time is right for us. Okay, so the next one is that you have always had beautiful long hair. Broadly speaking, yes, but there was one time when I was 20? Yeah, 20 or 21, and I cut my hair really short. So my hair was probably a bit longer than it is now, no highlights, like all really, really dark, basically black, and I chopped it to here, and I chopped it into a bob, and it's kind of like a caramelly blonde honey bob, and it was really nice actually. I really, really liked it. My hairdresser at the time was amazing, and he just created this amazing look. But very, very quickly I started to miss my long hair. The upkeep was crazy. I'd have to get it dyed every single month, and obviously the colour was a lot different to my natural colour. It was really expensive, and I just missed having long hair. I feel like my long hair is just such a big part of me. It's just such a big part of my identity, and I love my hair. I love having long hair. Okay, the next one is you're picky about who you're friends with. That's another interesting one. Also quite true. I think I guess I'm picky in the sense of I just want to spend time with people who are really nice, solid humans. That's kind of my criteria, is that I want to be around people who are just really nice people, and people who I jive with and I get along with. And kind of one of my key indicators, as I mentioned, is my gut feeling, but also just how comfortable I feel with that person. And if it's a person who I can just sit and coexist with, and it's not awkward and there aren't any awkward silences, and it's nice and comfortable, then to me, I'm like, that's someone who I want to be friends with. And I know that's kind of like a weird kind of marker, but I just want to be around people who are nice people, who are supportive, who I can be myself with, and who I feel really comfortable with, who I just jive with and who I have fun with. And yeah, so I guess I'm picky in the sense of I want to spend my time with the right kind of people who are nice and who make me feel good. Okay, the next one is that you've always been adventurous. I think Yeah, I think that was not true. Growing up, I was always quite open, but I was never really into a lot of outdoorsy things and like hiking and doing anything extreme. I never really did any extreme sports or anything. I've always skied. I learned to ski when I was about 7 or 8, I think. But other than that, I was never really into anything really adventurous. I'd say that it's only really the last sort of 5 years, 4 or 5 years, that I've actually become quite adventurous. And now, obviously, I love doing all different types of things like skiing and hiking and diving and just doing kind of everything that I can do. I love getting out of my comfort zone, but yeah, that's something that's only really come in the last sort of 5 years or so. The next one is that you were popular at school and never got bullied. Interesting that that's an assumption. It's not correct really. I mean, I wasn't ever really unpopular, but I was never very popular either. I was just kind of in the middle. A lot of my friends were quite popular actually, especially though when I was in like year 7 and 8, when I was maybe between the ages of like 11 and 13. I was not cool whatsoever. Going into secondary school, I had a massive big fringe, I had sideburns, I had a monobrow, big brow situation going on, I had blue glasses. Yeah, I was not a cool kid, and I think I slowly became a little bit more cool, but I was never like actually really popular. Although thankfully I was never bullied. That's something that I could say, I was never bullied. I think nowadays it's so much harder for kids, especially with cyberbullying and the internet. It's just so much harder to hide from that kind of thing, and people are really mean online. So the next one is that you are generally very positive and you don't really have down days. I'd say that's quite true. I mean, I do have down days, definitely. I think everybody does, even though you might not see it on social media. Everybody has those days or has those periods when they're just feeling a little bit crap, and it's very, very normal. But I'd say on the whole, I am generally very positive and I like to have a smile on my face, and I just feel like life is just so much better and so much more fun when you go at it with a positive mindset. And I think that bad situations always have a silver lining, because, you know, things don't always go your way. But the way that I look at it is I think, well, if the outcome isn't my desired outcome, then all that's going to happen is that this is just going to open a different kind of door and lead me down a different kind of path. And I'll always relate it back to my experience when I went to university. So my first choice university was King's College in London, and I was so set on going to that university and I was so excited to live in London, and I didn't get in, and I was absolutely devastated. I was just so distraught that I didn't get in. So I went to my second choice university, which was Sheffield. And even though at the time I was really upset about it, when I think back, I just think, well, if I'd have gone to King's College like I wanted to in the beginning, I would not be here now, because I wouldn't have done that same course. I wouldn't have met Matt because I'd have been in a different city. I wouldn't have lived in Paris. I wouldn't have moved to Vancouver and come traveling, and I wouldn't be where I am now. And so often when situations don't really work out how you want them to, you've just got to think, well, all this is going to do is open a different kind of door and open up a different kind of path for me, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, I'd say that I am genuinely pretty positive, but I definitely do have my down days too. Okay, so the second to last one is that you always wanted to do your blog full time. Love your blog and IG, by the way, thank you. And no, I didn't always want to do it full time. So I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but I actually had 2 blogs before I started Go Live Explore. So the first one was a fitness blog, and I put loads and loads of time into it, and I loved writing about fitness, and I was very much into fitness. I still am now, but yeah, I started a fitness blog, and then I just one day was like, this is a waste of time, no one's ever going to read it, and I closed it. And then I started a food blog after that when I was at university, and I was so scared to show anyone, and I was so scared of judgment, and it was actually gaining quite a lot of traction. And then I was just like, no, I don't want anyone to judge me, and then I closed it. And then it was when we went traveling that I started Go Live Explore, but it was more just to have a place to write stuff and share useful information for other travelers. And a huge part of it really for me was that when we were traveling, I wanted to have something that would allow me to be productive, because I am a productivity freak and I hate it when I'm not doing something productive. So a huge part of it was just having kind of a little project that I could do when we were away, and so that I could feel productive. But yeah, it was never my intention to do what I'm doing now. It just kind of happened and unfolded this way, and I feel very fortunate to be able to do all of this full time because it's something that I love so much. But yeah, this was never really my intention, especially not when I went to university for law, so a very, very different career path to what I'm doing now. But yeah, it's funny how life works out. Okay, and the final one is that you won't ever move back to England. Wow, that's a loaded one. I don't know about that one. I mean, we might not. We haven't really ruled out either option. We're just kind of keeping it open, and we're just kind of see later down the line how we feel, because now that we've got PR, we have a lot more flexibility when it comes to having kids. I don't know whether we're going to want to be in Canada or whether we're going to want to be in England or maybe someone else. I really don't know. It's one of them things that you just don't know until it comes to it. So I mean, we might move back to England one day, and then maybe we might move back here, or I really don't know. So we're just kind of keeping it as open as possible. You can't predict what's going to happen in the future. 5 years ago, I did not think I'd be living in Vancouver, and so I just think there's no point in planning that kind of thing if you really don't know what's going to happen. So all we know at the minute is that we love it here and we love our lifestyle and we're very happy. So we're just going to kind of see how things go. So yeah, that is the final question. This video has gone on for quite a long time now, so I'm going to wrap things up here. But it was really interesting to know what you guys thought and what your assumptions are about me based on like the content I put out there, and I guess like the vibe that I give off. But I hope that's allowed you to get to know me a little bit better. It seems though that you guys know me quite well already, because a lot of those were very, very true. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't already subscribed and you want to see more of my videos, I would love to have you back here, so please hit that red button, and I guess I'll see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.